One of the best schools of India is at Kollam now. Progressive environment blooms progressive minds. The starting point is as important as the finishing line. We focus on complete development. Learn to win, also to lose with grace. Learn to enjoy the beauty of life. We believe good facilities matter. The joys of experiential learning begins here. Delhi Public School, Kollam.
Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you to the DPS Kollam webinar series. We are pleased to present our second webinar. This is a humble endeavor on the part of DPS Kollam family, which is led ably by Sri Abdul Aziz and our 5 dynamic young physicians who are the directors of the school. This is a sort of a little gift back that we can give to our parent community as well as the community at large. Now, when I talk about the community at large, I mean the extended family, the teachers, the friends of the school, and of course our personal friends as well who probably have logged in to watch this program. So right at the onset, I would like to welcome the two wonderful and dynamic panelists that we have here with us today, Dr. Elizabeth and Ms. Chitra Mahajan. Welcome both of you. So before I go forward, we are going to introduce you to the audience of the evening. So Manju and Dilsha, could you please introduce the panelists to the audience? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let me acquaint you with the illustrious panelists of today's webinar. Dr. Elizabeth is a professor and HOD of Pediatrics, SMIMS Kanyakumari District, Tamil Nadu. She was a former professor and HOD of Pediatrics and Superintendent of Government Medical College, Thiruvananthapuram. She is a member of Biosafety Committee at Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology. Also, a member of Board of Studies in Kerala University of Health Sciences. She is the state president of IAP Kerala and also the district branch president, WIMA Trivandrum. She has received special training in nutrition, genetics, and diabetes from the universities in India and abroad. She has authored many books and has, to her credit, many national and international journals. She's been honored with many awards and recognitions, and to mention a few: the Best Doctor, the Best Teacher, the Best Research Paper, and Lifetime Achievement Award. Welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Chitra Mahajan is a counseling psychologist. She has worked as a senior consultant counselor, DPS Muzaffarnagar, as a consultant counselor and guest lecturer at NIPCCT Delhi, as a senior consultant counselor at JP Public School, Greater Noida. Also, she has established the Child Guidance and Counseling Unit for the holistic development of children with disabilities and gives support to children with 2 national boards, CBSE and NIOS. She has worked as a teaching faculty in the junior wing of Delhi Public School, Noida. She has conducted innumerable workshops, which includes career counseling for teachers of Kendra Vidyalaya for 3 consecutive years from 2016. In her words, KES, a child-sensitive center, something that is close to my heart, is my independent venture. At the center, she supports the children with special needs through occupational therapy, speech therapy, special education, ABA, and counseling. Welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Abha Chatterjee is moderator of this event and the principal of DPS Kollam. She is passionate about the entire teaching learning process and has put in many years seeking pedagogies which is advantageous for children to enjoy the learning process. She's been the principal of different schools, including DPS Durgapur, Vibgyor Bangalore, Red Hills High Bangalore. She is a CBSE Master Trainer for English and a CBSE Certified Resource Person. She has been the CBSE City Coordinator of Bangalore North. She is double Masters in English and Education and has a certification on strategic leadership for schools from IIM Ahmedabad. She has headed the team of pedagogy of language module for CBSE's Diksha Vidyadhyan platform. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dilsha and Manju. Now, as we went into the pandemic, and suddenly life came to a halt. Everything came to a standstill, and we did not know what to do. I guess the frontliners were our doctors, our paramedics, the social workers, the people who worked in the, who actually picked up the garbage, looked after us. And many of us were just ensconced in our homes and we could not do anything. Now, at that point of time, of course, teachers woke up, and it was a rude awakening for most of us because we needed to suddenly, overnight, gain confidence as far as a laptop is concerned. You know, many of the teachers are not really tech savvy. I, for one, always claim that I am a tech dinosaur. So when this kind of a situation was happening, we woke up to the fact that education cannot go to sleep. The building can go to sleep, but education cannot. So we marched ahead with the fact that we had to do something. And yes, we did. Overnight, we had to learn what many teachers had to learn: how to handle a mouse, how to Google, and how to go and get onto a Zoom platform, and how to teach the children. First of all, was the onus of teaching myself because I am a teacher, and the second, how to teach the children, get into this mode of learning. And then we were all trying to do our best to sustain, survive, and serve. And then we realized that all of us were thrown into a round world with square skills because our skills did not fit into the system that we were overnight thrown into. But when we were eulogizing, the doctors, the paramedics, the teachers, yes, we got our fair share of flack, but we also got a lot of accolades from a lot of parents. They realize that it's not easy for us to screen share. It's not easy for us to suddenly make those kind of PPTs. It's not easy to, tackle 30 children who are actually sitting at homes. But what most of us, I felt, is we disregarded what were the kids going through. The kids actually were no less in this than any one of us, because we, as an adult, we could understand. We could understand what was going on, despite the fact that it was almost to the point of being ununderstandable. But the children, it was very difficult to make them understand. Suddenly you tell them, you cannot go to school. All those dreams that I want to sleep till late, I don't want to go to school, suddenly materialized. And you cannot go to school. You cannot go out and be with your friends. You cannot go to a movie hall. You cannot go to the park. That's probably the biggest punishment you can give to a child. So all this went on for months and months. Now the vaccination has come, and we can almost see some kind of a ray of hope. In a situation like this, we thought that why not get two people on board and talk to them and let us get some idea from them as to how we can tackle with our children and the things that they are facing and have been facing for the past close to 1 year. So I will start with Dr. Elizabeth. Ma'am, I'm so honored that you have been able to come on board. I have heard great things about you. So, ma'am, my question to you is, rather, I have quite a few questions actually. Now, what is your advice to parents regarding basic child health? And healthy and fat-free diet is required for all. We know that. So, but when you are, putting children in this house, and there is so much of inactivity, and they're not moving out of their houses. There's no physical activity whatsoever. Classes are also online for hours together. They're stuck in front of the screen. And so what do you think, ma'am? How do you think parents should tackle this? Not only the question which I asked you, whatever you feel, ma'am, that all of us should know as parents and as teachers, we need to know. So kindly guide us, kindly help us and tell us what you think, ma'am.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am, for that kind words and this great opportunity. Fellow speaker, Ms. Chitra Mahajan, and all the teachers, directors, parents, and guests. I have prepared a PPT. If I can share it, that would be better. Some audio visual impact will come as you
Yes,
have
that
all.
will be wonderful. That will be wonderful.
But I think that is not enabled for me. They have to.
Okay, I'll just check. I'll just check.
And,
Uh,
as you beautifully said, overnight the world came to a standstill. And we had
yes,
heard about Spanish flu during the Second World War or something. And
even okay.
you are sharing that, or I can share it now.
Yes, we have given you, ma'am.
I can share it now.
Yes.
Yeah. So overnight we were thrown apart, and social distancing, mask, sanitizers, everything came in, and we didn't know what to do. Even doctors were not prepared. This was such a new virus to us. And if, as you asked, the greatest challenge I would say I was seeing this time is that I am not seeing normal children these days. You know, malnourished children are there, and they come in search of me because of my interest in nutrition and child development. And then the malnutrition, that is the junk food, such children were there. But what happened during the pandemic is that the the junk food came into the kitchen. Everybody was now googling into the YouTube or somewhere, and then making all the junk food at home. And I am seeing apple shaped children, pear shaped children, and the latest edition, I must say, children are not looking like a child, and the parents have absolute no concern about the overweight. And this is the latest edition. I call them pillow shaped children. That is absolutely no shape for them. And they have, suppose a child 10-year-old is brought to me, I say your child is 60 kg, and the child's knee and all can only bear half of that kilograms. The parent will say, really? That is their response to that. And see, as ma'am said, the parks and the play zones were closed, and the school got restricted with a lot of restricted entry, and then still this lot of gadgets and all. So if you do a situation analysis, we try to do that, we see that lot of problems that she has already mentioned: physically inactivity, longer screen time, irregular sleep patterns, eating habits, and even personal hygiene has come down. And they don't take the bath in the morning, they don't brush the teeth, they don't go to the toilet. Like that, self discipline all disappeared. Plus internet addiction, even cyber bullying and sexual exploitation has come in. And we must understand that what is now their experience will be reflected in their future. And children have little voice to advocate, and I'm happy that the school is advocating for them. And in a study, the post traumatic stress scores in the quarantine children were found to be much more than who were not quarantined. So there is a role for the community, the parents, government, society, and the school. And I'm very happy that the school has taken the lead in such a meeting. And so regarding the diet and exercise, before that, prolonged homestay leads to stress, and stress should not be allowed to go to distress. And when distress is coming, see, across the ages, they are all, their mental health is going. And this is the reaction of many of the children towards their parents, whether it is a preschool child or an adolescent or a grown-up adult. This is their reaction. They don't trust the parents, and that is a very big concern. We were celebrating the National Girl Child Day, and we were talking about this quite a lot last week. And before the pandemic, we did a small study on a large cohort of school children, 6,000 and odd children. And I'm bringing your attention to the last part: sharing all life events with parents. 28% of the children said we are not sharing. When the same question was asked to the parent, 9.5% said they are not sharing. So there is a disagreement between what the parents think and the children do. And this may not be true also, all true, because some children may be hiding facts as well. And so there, the whole change, the proactive steps have to come from the home and the school. There should be some family dialogue, discussions, especially during meal times. And then some of the children even have fear of getting the disease. They have a lot of anxieties about their future, about their today, and positive parenting. And nothing negative should come from the home and the school. That is what. For example, when a child falls down, see, without noticing that it is a wet floor, what is the reaction of the parent or the elder? They will say, let us punish the floor or the signboard. That means they get the idea that something bad happens to them, they should punish some innocent bystander. But look at this poor mother from a poor resource limited setting. She's showing such a good example to her son, that is wear a mask. In my house, there is a 2-year-old kid. She's not willing to wear a mask. But look at this kid. Maybe he's also 2-year-old. He's wearing the mask. The mother is showing the good example of that. I would like to share a small study with you that was published in Indian Pediatrics, a multicentric North Indian study. And there is a US study which said that there is added stress on the child and the family, 56%. Whereas look at this, the study, the sample size was 2,694. On an average, the academic screen time was 3.2 hours, 5.3 days per week. It is stressful for the child, 75%, stressful for the family, 72%, non-readiness for school opening, 72%. When to open? The response was that let it be 21 days after no cases and all the vaccine is distributed. And I have 2 grandchildren who are school going, and the younger one says, even if the school opens, I will not go. Let him go, the brother. Let the teachers and Aya and all kill all the corona virus in the school, then only I will go. That was the response. And regarding the digital classes, it is safe during pandemic, 90% thought that they are not losing classes, 63%. No need for travel, 39%. They can maintain connect with the school, 62%. And but look at the negative points. Headache and eye strain perceived in 62%, 45% and 35% respectively had to seek medical care. Then does not feel like a real class. No physical activity, hard to maintain concentration, need to adjust home environment. Some of them don't have so many stations. The father is working from home, mother is working from home, the elder one, the younger one, even the preschooler. So not lot of adjustment, financial burden, behavioral issues, disturbed sleep, body ache, change in bowel habit. I think this is something I am also seeing these days, weight gain in 33%. That is it. So when the COVID, how to tackle this situation? The only way is have a healthy diet. Get moving. Don't be very sedentary. You have to be active. Then be very happy, crack jokes. You can have some family play or some sessions like that. Then relax and take enough rest. Avoid cold temperatures and think optimistically. We can't do such group activities, but we can do solo activities like this also. And regarding food, I always say you have to take a balanced diet, and it is to go, to grow, and to glow. What is to go means you have to be active. So you need energy. The carbs and fat will give you energy, but the fat should be restricted to 30% of your energy, and the starch should be restricted to 50% of your total energy. Then you need good protein to grow and to glow and to be healthy. That is, you need the micronutrients like iron, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C, and so on. So this is what we teach, and the schools also teach. I'm not going to go to all that. So how to practice it into at home? And that is a rainbow diet. That is, we can have a rainbow diet. 50% of your total daily diet should be from vegetables and fruits. And then that is the GYOR, that is the green, yellow, orange, red part of it. Then 1/4 of your daily food, it is not per meal, it should be per day, that is you complete your plate. And brown, that is whole grains, multi-grains, and certain nuts are also good. And then a protein source. What is your protein source that we should think? Is it non-vegetarian items or pulses, germinated pulses, nuts, etc., and little bit of dairy? That is one. And many children miss breakfast. Look at that. If you miss breakfast, you tend to overeat during lunch. You tend to take more snacks, and you eat more at dinner, and you tend to become obese. So if you are on any diet, don't miss your breakfast. That is my message. And then learn to read the labels. See, if you take a packet of noodles, it is written 2 servings. That means either 2 people should share it, or it should be served as 2 meals. But nowadays we even take two Maggi noodles at a time. That is too much. And look here, the energy from one serving is 250 calories, and out of that 110 is coming from fat. That is already 50% is coming from fat from this one serving. And look at dietary fiber is zero, trans fat, all these things will be written there. Learn to read this and practice a D diet, that is a disciplined diet. And for that, one is that don't make your stomach a waste basket. And so before you are very full, you have to finish. And give a bowl of vegetables decorated with some little fruit to the child and the family members, and let them eat that first, and then serve the main menu, so that already your
Full, sort
GYOR
of full.
part is done. And
Ma'am, I'm sorry to button over here. You're full. I just thought of, saying which a lot of people say in Northern India. Okay, when you leave the table, make sure there is place in your tummy to have one more roti. So don't have that roti and leave the table. There should be space in your tummy to have that one more roti. So that is what I remembered when I saw you're satisfied and not full.
exactly. And create an inclination towards vegetables. This is from the school which is attached to our medical college, Vegetable Day. The vegetable
Mm.
pain and all were there. And look at this. I said I have two grandchildren, and the younger one is a little hesitant to take vegetables. So the elder one made this cartoon for him. See, the bunny is playing with his superhero, and it is getting dark, and the mom is telling, go to the field and bring something for dinner. Then the bunny is crying, I can't see, I have night blindness. And then the superhero goes and brings the carrot and gives him,
Yes.
which is a rich source of vitamin A, and so his night blindness is cured. And see, we have to make stories like this. Their superheroes are very much inclined to this and that, the healthy food. That is it.
That's a
And
wonderful tip, ma'am.
thank you.
And
And this is something, this sort of cards we take to the schools. This is as part of a thesis of a MSc nursing student. And they are asked to arrange these cards and then find out many ladders and snakes. If you take the snakes, if you take the junk food, you end up with the snake.
somewhere down.
You take the
Yeah.
healthy food, you climb up and you become healthy. So more like this can be an exercise for the children, and this can be fun for them also. That is it. And regarding fiber, many children are having constipation and they can't pass stool, very difficult. They don't, they it is very hard, and they try to suppress it, and it becomes more hard. So if it is a small child, age plus 5, that 3-year-old child, 8 gram of fiber should be there. And for a grown-up child, their weight divided by 2. If they are 30 kg, they need 15 gram of fiber. And if they can take two, look at that, two small strawberries, one apple, one carrot, and little bit of green leafy vegetables, they're already done. They have got 16 gram of fiber. And this is something which I want the parents to translate at home. And then water. They drink a lot of fluid, maybe fruit juice or maybe milk, but water is very important, and urinary infections and all these can be prevented. So if it is an adult, your weight into 40. If you are 60 kg, 2,400, more than 2 liters of water you need. The parent will have to measure it and give it in a jug to the child, and the child will have to drink it from that aliquot and then finish it. And there was a 6-year-old child, 6 cups, 8-year-old child, 8 cups, 10-year-old child, 10 cups of water. That is something we teach. And there was a water bell in some of the schools. 11 o'clock, the bell will come and they will drink half the bottle. And 2 o'clock, the other bell will come, they finish. Now,
We also started that, ma'am, the water bell. We also started that.
very good, very good. But now it is the parent has to ring the bell. That is why I brought this water drinking bell for them. And then many people ask how to boost immunity. That is by good food, good sleep, and good exercise. These are the three immune boosters. Otherwise, there is nothing. So we know that the screen time is too much for them, academic screen time. So we have to reduce the non-academic screen time. Or if at all it is there, it should be a co-watching and there should be an interaction with the parent and the child. Otherwise, it is one-way communication and the brain connections will get pruned, I will say. 8 hours of sleep and good exercise is needed. Can we practice this at least 5 days a week? That is much better. And many people say, I am busy, I don't have time. 1 hour of exercise, where is the time? 30 minutes, go for dancing, swimming, cycling, walking, etc. Then get active 10 minutes, 3 times a day. You can just come out of the room and do some gardening and or make some steps with the music, and that is also enough. Then many ask me when to send them to gym. I would say maybe 15 years seems, more than 15 years seems reasonable, because reasonable level of growth is attained of their bone and joints. And talk to the trainer and see that he can understand what is the developmental stage of the child, and that a child is not a small adult like a butterfly, like caterpillar is not a butterfly. And regarding the um, energy drinks, all of them contain a lot of caffeine, and caffeine is not good for CNS and CVS. Your heart and brain is going to suffer. So this is not good for the children. And when they go for an exercise, give them a carb or a sugar drink so that they can readily have the glucose absorbed, and don't give them protein at that time, and that is not good just before an exercise. Once they have had the exercise, exhausted their muscles, exhausted their energy, give them the protein so that they can replenish their this thing. And Indian Academy of Pediatrics has done many initiatives: healthy nutrition, ban on junk food, physical punishment, clean toilets, safe transport, adequate classrooms and play zones. I was extremely impressed to see your premises and the environment, school environment.
Thank you.
And then the baggage size. And what has come out is that, see, no more junk food in school canteens and 50 meters around. This has come as a law in 2019 and 20, it has been reinforced. We asked for 150 meters around, but the law came as 50 meters, maybe because of the pressure of some lobbying and all. And then the school baggage. 10% of your weight is the easy thing that you can carry. That is why 7 kg is allowed as a cabin baggage, assuming that you have 70 kg. So more than that is child labor. And now they say that weight of 10% of the weight only should be the kids um, bag. And then some proactive messages. If there is a message that if you walk up, you are burning 0.5 calories, now you are burning 1.0 calories, 1.5 calories, I would definitely take the stairs rather than the elevator. These proactive messages. Then have a weighing machine at home, and every week weigh at the same time. Morning, Sunday means every Sunday morning. Then have some family activities, group exercises. There is a Thailand model for group exercise. There is a Finland model for reducing sugar and um, oil and salt in the baking industry. Walking streets, walkable streets and cycle paths, the Canadian model. Salad bars, Michelle Obama's model, and PT periods, I would say. Family activity, this is the only family activity that most of the families have, but think of it, some aerobic exercise, come out, take some fresh air. In your surrounding itself, you can do it. And when you go back to school, think of SMS, soap and sanitizer, mask, social distancing, 2 arm distance. That is, I protect you, you protect me. If it was only one arm distance, I protect you, but you don't protect me. And then have a Lakshman Rega around. This is very good for physical distancing as well as physical abuses also. And the child should learn to say no. I will not hurt myself, both my mind and body. That should be the child's pledge. And I am reminded of the Lakshman Rega that was drawn for Sita, and she did not obey, and the rest is history, isn't it? So that is
Absolutely.
absolutely. And see, in 1962, an Italian magazine had a cover story telling 2022 people will be like this in their own bubble. See, that is what we are doing. I was amazed to see this. I thought it is good to share it with you.
Yes.
This is the T zone, or if you make it a triangle, don't touch here. This is through your eye, nose, and your mouth. That is where the bacteria and the viruses go. So be very careful and see the amount of inoculum coming to you. So 6 feet, that means 2 arm distance. If you can keep, that is very good. And now we have the vaccine, good food, exercise, everything which is going to help us. So stay safe and take care. And when the 108 ambulance is running along the length and breadth of Kerala, I think the only mantra that you can keep it away is 1 hour of exercise, zero junk food, 8 hours of sleep. And that some miniature form should be adapted in the school and in the house. So no matter how long we have traveled in the wrong direction, you can always turn around. And I would be happy to take the questions later on. This is for now. I'm stopping my slide share.
Thank you so much, ma'am. At the end, we will take a few questions. So over to Ms. Chitra Mahajan. Welcome, Ms. Mahajan, to our webinar series. And we are really delighted that you are here along with us. And I know you're from the other part of the country. But where exactly are you from now? Delhi or Faridabad? Where are you located?
A very good evening to all of you, Ms. Chatterjee and Dr. Elizabeth. First, I am from Greater Noida. That's the NCR, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's been a wonderful thing listening to Dr. Elizabeth,
Absolutely.
all the do's and don'ts, and she's made it so lively for everybody to listen to it, and most importantly to practice it, I would say.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And here, yeah, you're rightly saying, so I'm from the north, so it's a very different weather here, too cold.
Okay. Miss Mahajan, I have a few questions because I have never met you, but I have come to know you are into a lot of counseling with children. And now
Yes.
in today's world, as you understand, counseling is extremely important because gone are the days when I feel we had those joint families. And when the joint family system was there, you never heard about children having any kind of psychological trauma. Why? Because there were so many people, cousins and your grandparents to tell you stories, and cousins and your siblings to run with. Nobody had any mental trauma. But nowadays, with a lot breaking down of, I'm not saying which is positive or which is negative, but for reasons we have moved into nuclear families, and we see a rise of a lot of trauma within children. Now, how do you think is the mental health of the children affected due to this, pandemic? Because they're all cooped up at home. Yes, they are going out a bit these days, but if you recall the initial months, it was like almost living in a jail. So it was difficult for us as seniors to accommodate this. So we can imagine what it was to the children. So, Ms. Mahajan, what would you suggest is that parents could do, to tackle this situation? How to, if they have any mood swings, or suppose if they have any sort of, irritation, they get irritated because of this. So, how do you think one can tackle it? Parents can tackle it.
Yeah, so rightly said, Ms. Chatterjee, that what we have experienced as an entire world, I would say, with this pandemic situation, there's been a complete routines have gone for a topsy-turvy. So, and it was something from a total freedom to being constrained to our own homes. So that was the kind of condition we all have gone through. And it has made a major impact on the physical health as well as the mental health. Physical health, ma'am has already, Dr. Elizabeth has already spoken about. But I would also say that physical health and mental health somehow go in hand. We cannot separate both the things, and we cannot put one as a separate entity. Though the work may differ in both the areas, but somehow it goes hand in hand. With children coming to school, who were completely now cooped up in their own homes and probably to their own rooms where they had to attend their school online classes. We saw that all the routine, the lines, the probably the times which were meant for different activities, it's all faded out. All that they were left with was attending school and academics, which heavily impacted their attention spans, because they were supposed to listen, and it was more so happening one-way communication because of limitations of the time constraint, the parent, the links, and we also, what I have seen with my own experience, and I've come across that yes, the children were physically sitting before the computer, logged in and entered the classroom, but hardly could get the concept because of the missing one-on-one personal link and the classroom environment. So the attention span really went down, and not only because they were all alone, but also because there was no change, no proper demarcation of their own routine, that this is your playtime, this is your school time, this is where you are going to study. Even the sleep patterns have changed. Children who used to go to bed on time, or because they had to get up on time, again that those boundaries also failed.
Exactly, that is what Dr. Elizabeth was also saying, that an entire thing, the routine has gone haywire.
Absolutely. So we see that these are the developmental years of the children, and when we say these developmental healthy developmental years would only lead to a healthy individual, to a healthy mental health. But if these years are disrupted, then we do see their impact coming in the gradually over the years. And we see that again, different children are different. I mean, all children are different, and so are their personalities. So we see children who used to get so many skills by going to the school, be it the problem solving skill, the academic the learning obviously is happening to a limit, but there were certain skills which they used to get through going to the school, through the activities which were happening in the school, the co-curricular activities. What has happened is now that scope of getting their social skills, that problem solving skills, and the self confidence that they used to have through the various activities which were happening in the school, the scope has got very, very limited. I know, I do understand that the schools are making an effort to hold certain things through, but again, it is limited to online things. So this is the kind of impact which is very visible in the children. I've been speaking to many adolescents. Now again, adolescent being a very I would say which we call as the teenage is not an easy stage developmentally, both physically. Again, for the parents, it's as it is known to be difficult and a stage where it is a challenge. Um, what has happened in this pandemic situation also, that adolescents, the academic skill again has been limited to almost, which I'm talking from my experience of having spoken to many children at this time. They say, ma'am, my conceptual understanding is actually reduced to 30% of what it used to be. I used to bunk school, but now it is like I'm not even attending school. So it's happened like that, that I'm bunking school like this. I may be present in the class, but I'm hardly listening. And my concepts are not as strong as they used to be when I was in the school.
Yes,
And
there will be whatever, how much ever we try, there will be a little bit of learning gap, which we know that.
yeah,
And because of this, or many reasons, Ms. Mahajan, we are, there is a surge in mood swings among the children. So
absolutely.
how do you control? I mean, how can a parent control these mood swings? What can parents do, to control these mood swings of the children? And adolescent, as it is a time, I'm sorry, I mean, I was saying adolescence is as it is a time when children normally get mood swings. And now with this cooped up situation, it's become worse with that particular segment.
I would say again, now the larger onus is on the parents, because they are the ones who are at home. So
Yes.
as it is, there was a great role of the parents. I would say an equal role of the parents in the previous, as it was in the previous, but now it's greater onus. At this time, the suggestion I would try to give to the parents is one, which was rightly, shared by Dr. Elizabeth also. We need to have a very active routine. Now, this active routine, if I try to think of four walls of the home, it
Mm.
would be engaging the children in various difficulties, the household chores, engaging them, and to be simple things like gardening, simple things like engaging them while cooking activities are happening. So having an, or maybe cleaning up their own areas, their own rooms, their small things like this. If we are giving them certain responsibility, this is one thing that, one of the things which we can start with. Then it is very important, the communication, the interaction time within the family has is something which we cannot disregard, we cannot overlook. Now, this again, this communication time between the family, how are we going to do it? It could be your lunch time, it could be your dinner time, it could be your breakfast time, it could be a simple meal time, meal cooking time. And it is very important for the parents to not only talk but to listen. And listening, I don't mean that the child is talking and we just hearing. So there's a difference between hearing and listening, because there could be many things a child would like to convey at this time. So we have to, one, be very, very supportive with the children, and we have to understand, be compassionate, because the kind of the situation that the stress is, we don't sometimes feel that the child of who may be 5 year or a 6 year, what kind of a stress can that child be having? But no, a child of 5 year or a 6 year would have also have a share of stresses.
Only
So
that they
we,
cannot express the stress.
exactly. They may not, it may be reflected, it may be manifested in a very different way, but the child is going through a stress. And the child, you may see the child may be sleeping for longer hours or may not be sleeping. It could be any of these things. Or a child simply, there used to be school refusals nowadays, earlier. Now it could be simply that the child doesn't want to sit before the laptop or before whatever media is being used.
Oh, yes,
So
we are facing all that.
Yeah, so and I know teachers have been telling, and so are the parents, that they're brushing their teeth even while they enter the classroom. So such things are even. So what I'm trying, that it is very important. Things like a storytelling time, so you can use that particular time, or a TV show which the entire family may be watching together. So that can be used to start a conversation where we give more of an opportunity to the children to talk and to be open about whatever they feel. So again, giving emphasis to how we feel is very important. The child would understand, yeah, my feelings are something which are important for my parents, and
Mhm.
this is the space probably I can talk. In school, we used to have a circle time where every child would be given an opportunity to talk and share whatever they felt. So
Yes, yes,
similarly,
ma'am.
similarly at home, the same thing happens, that we have, how has been, how was your day, what have you learned, simple things like, okay, and then it's just a startup, and the child can get an opportunity to express himself.
They open up, children open up through these things. And you
Absolutely.
get to know a lot what is going on in their brains and in their little hearts.
Yes. And then we have, we have this thing of presuming or assuming that my child does not know. I would suggest to the parents that let us understand what is it that they know, to begin with what they know, and then probably take them to the things which we may need to convey to them. So these sessions or these talk times between the families, the family interaction times, become an opportunity and a platform for the child to share. Then, for if I'm talking about the adolescents now, like I said, that because there's a lot of physical change happening, and this is the time when an adolescent likes to develop an identity. So, he feels that he is an adult, but still he is not an adult, and the parents feel that he's grown up. Why is it that he cannot understand? But there is lot that the child also doesn't know. And secondly, there is a lot of this stage brings with it a lot of risk taking element where the child wants to experiment. And the identity, the feeling of identity also comes through the social skills the child has developed at this time, which again, for a proper or a good mental health is required. Now this again, this has been curtailed because of the pandemic situation. So it becomes very important that we talk to an adolescent with complete respect,
Yes.
what which we feel, and in a very matured way. Not he or she should not feel that I'm being treated like a child. So if we feel that we need to get that respect, probably this is how we need to treat the adolescent. Then there is, again, as a parent, we do have this feeling of I know it all. So again, here I would very strongly suggest to the parents that it is okay to say that I don't know, or we need to find out, or we need to probably search for this particular knowledge, or on this particular issue we need to understand from somebody else. And there should not be any hesitation in discussing both our successes as well as our failures. So it brings that feeling to the child that it is okay to fail.
Yes.
So,
Yes. We always, teach our children that you have to succeed. And when the children
Absolutely.
fail, they just cannot accept it. And then starts a lot, starts a juggernaut of problems, psychological problems.
Absolutely. So it's as it is adolescence, we see there are a lot of stressors. Once they are reaching class 9, 10, these are the years they look at it as their career for deciding years also. So yes, so knowingly and unknowingly both they are very stressful for the children, and this stress somehow we may or may not realize from the parents, it is passed on to the children.
Also, teachers, we also pressurize children. I will admit the truth.
Yes.
We also do it.
So that's why I'm saying it is okay, it is okay to fail is something which has to be conveyed to the children, and which we can do very well through sharing our own failures in lives, which we have all have a share of failures. And then what I'll say is that it is very important to talk very honestly with the children, especially about the values that we want should be inculcated, be imbibed by our children. Because if I say that what we practice should or what we preach should not be different from what we
We
practice.
practice.
So we expect the child to be honest, but we are modeling a very different behavior as a parent. So it is definitely a very wrong and a conflicting message we are sending to the child. So this is something which, this kind of a situation, I think can be used for such kind of things within the family, encourage children to do all this. Then another thing, the child at this point, especially at the adolescent, in the adolescent years, has to be conveyed that there is an unconditional support by the parents. However, whatever decisions the child may make and the outcomes of the decisions are a total responsibility of the child. This is something this particular time and rather these years can be used for training the children to be responsible for the decisions that they make. This is something which I really lay stress on.
Quite a
And
few questions. Yes, yes. I'm so sorry. I thought you were done because quite a few questions are coming in.
there
Yes,
are two, three more, pointers I would like to discuss, and then we can start with the questions.
Q&A.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Uh, then it's very important, at this time, if we are seeing that there is a lot of mood swings happening, what we can do is break down larger tasks and make them into smaller tasks, and probably do them step by step rather than trying to take up the entire task altogether,
That's a very
which the
good
child.
point.
Yes, so breaking down that task is very important. The next something that I would like to discuss is, at this situation, as a parent, as a family, it's very important that we prioritize on what are our battles. So something from 10 things we will have to prioritize which is top on our list. So choosing our battles becomes very important at this time. Not to take everything on ourselves right now and just choose to fight the battles which are the highest on our priority, which will definitely bring down that load of having everything on your head in one go, and again, this could also be a time where we can try to postpone certain things which we feel as are very, very important decisions, you know. So we can postpone them and wait for things to the complete new normal to come, and then we can take them up. So this is something which, you know, very generically I have tried to you know discuss that this is what on the whole we can do with the children, be it the younger children or the adolescents.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Mahajan. So we will go into the Q&A round. So I will read out the questions which I have in front of me. To first question is to Ma'am, to Dr. Elizabeth Ma'am, by Mary Matthew. It is very difficult to keep kids away from fast food or junk food these days. How can we do that? So, ma'am, what do you suggest? Ma'am, I think you have to
Yeah, yeah.
unmute.
That
Yes.
is a very good practical question, and this is every family is facing that. And nowadays they themselves order, and when the order comes, only the parent knows that the child has ordered, isn't it? The child has ordered the Swiggy or the some other agency to bring the food home. But I think what we have to, I always tell them, did the teacher teach you in the curriculum that these are the good food and these are the bad food? Yes. Is it to get marks? No. It is to practice. And so we have to tell them slowly. And finally, we have to put a balance also. Don't say, never you can order. No. That is what I said, 5 days a week. Okay, we can say that this Sunday, I'm closing the kitchen. You can order. The children will be happy. Monday is your birthday, so we are going to go out or we are going to order food. We have to put some discipline. That is it. And the child should understand and say that, okay, let us do it on Saturday, not today. Today we will have the food that the mom has cooked for us or what is available at home. This should come, the change should come from within them. That is what we have to teach them. The child should restrain from ordering. It is not, now none of us can restrain them. They will order. They will order and get it, or some uncle or auntie will order it for them, or they may either rebel out of you or they become an introvert. They don't talk to you. So the change should come from
From
within the
within.
family, from the child. The child
Hmm.
should learn to be, have a disciplined diet and a disciplined routine. Then only this will happen.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is for Miss Chitra. It says, my child cries easily, little things, and he starts to cry. So, what do I do? So, do you think, Mr. Mahajan, some kind of a problem with the child? Why the child could be?
See, ma'am, I would just like, I would say just the face of it that this is a very big problem unless we've actually observed the children, a child for a longer period. We need to understand a few many in succession has been doing it, or is it for every little thing the child's been crying? So
Mm-hmm.
we need to understand multiple things here. Is
Mm-hmm.
because yes, if I say that for things which we feel that is the child only looking for some kind of attention from the parent, which probably the child has not been getting, and through only through crying the mother comes and asks, why is the child crying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the reason? Or
Mm-hmm.
is the child in some kind of a physical pain? Or is it some difficulty that the child is experiencing? So there are multiple questions which we need to understand before actually we address this particular issue, I would say.
Yes.
But by and large, it is good to talk at this time. What I would like to suggest is that it's good that we can start with the story. If the child is not being expressive about his feelings
Mm-hmm.
directly to the parent, to the mother, or to the father, we can start with this story session, or
Okay.
we can pick up a story where the child is crying, and we can probably talk about other emotions also, that there are happier times, there are thankful times, there are difficult times. So the child also understands various. So probably the child has not even understood that I need to convey my feelings or what I want in some other way. So it could be a simple communication gap between the parent and the child.
Yes. Thank you so much. Ma'am, Dr. Elizabeth, ma'am, there is a question which has been picked up from what you had said. As you said, ma'am, parents are even brushing their teeth and many more things during online classes. So this is happening, and I mean, across the country. But it's the same thing we don't see when we talk about the same with Western countries. Why is it that so? Where are we lagging behind in spite of giving children all the luxury? Why is it that our kids do this?
Really, that is very interesting question. The thing is that we tend to overprotect them. We don't, Ms. Chitra was also telling, that is, we underestimate them. We don't give them the freedom. We don't treat them as grown-ups, or we think that we have to do everything for them. But one day, I must say that when you say a no, it should be a no. And the child should understand that mom doesn't like this, and she is not going to compromise here. And never say, you be there, let dad come, then I will say. And dad comes and nothing happens. Then the child understands that nothing is going to happen. I can continue this behavior.
Yes.
Whatever the child is doing which we don't like or is not socially acceptable, that is, we have to say no to the child. And then we don't pamper them. You do your business, then the child will understand that mom doesn't like, and I can't go like this, I want her love. And whatever they do positive, we have to give them the positive thing. And
Yes.
like the child crying, somebody was asking, in the Western world, they give them lot of independence, and they trust them,
Yes.
and there is a lot of mutual trust. And here we think that we have to keep them under our wings all throughout. And when the child does something we don't, we just throw them away. I don't want to hear about my child.
Yes.
What,
Yes.
that is not possible, no? Who else
Yes.
will
Yes.
hear? And many
Exactly.
children come and say, my mom should not know, my dad should not. Who else should know? They have no trust in them. And we speak
Yes.
about intelligence quotient. Our children have, we groom them in such a way that they have good intelligence quotient. And then the emotional quotient also may be very good. They behave nicely. That is, their character is good. But sometimes social quotient is what they keep. Can they keep friends? How
Yes.
many friends do you have? That is your charisma. That is the social quotient. Then they must have an adversity quotient also. How to face a failure. Everything should be taught. I think the Westerners are more practical, and they don't think that the children have to live under my wing till they get married, or even if they are married, morning 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, every time I telephone and ask what is happening there, what is happening there.
Absolutely.
And that,
Absolutely.
we don't allow them to be independent. They let them decide. But we have to be very stern. If I say a no, it is a no. Today it is a no, tomorrow it's also a no. And whatever you want to tell them then and there. And don't postpone it that I will go and tell the teacher, or let dad come, or let grandfather make the decision, like that. You have to tell. I think it is our way of parenting is, we have to change. The
This
change
is
should come from us.
Yes, ma'am, this is exactly what you were saying. I have always been saying, to mothers that please do not have a bigger demon that I will tell your father.
Hmm.
And then later on, you will complain that your child does not listen to you. Because if you go on, say, pushing it, putting it on someone, the child will come to realize that my mom does not have the power. It
Oh,
is someone else, and they will start disobeying.
exactly.
If you want to do, you have to take the decision and with a firm hand and not put it on someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly, ma'am. Yeah. Thank
And
you, ma'am.
then we can
Yes,
say, I'm not going to give you breakfast till you brush and come. And you do your work. The child will
Yes.
finally come, Mom, give me breakfast. Or the child will brush and then go and get it by himself.
Yes, exactly.
Empower them. Empower them.
Empowered. Thank you, ma'am. Now there is another question, Miss Chitra. It says that did I miss somewhere? I think I scrolled up. My uh, Miss Chitra, my child is 7 and still has bedwetting problem. What should I do?
Okay, so again here, if the child is bedridden already, probably you need to visit first a pediatrician or see a doctor first if
Mhm.
there is a physical problem. Otherwise, we need they should consult a counselor here, because again, what could be what are the kind of feelings a child may be undergoing? We need to understand that. This surely is a stage where the parent needs to see a doctor first. And then, if required, if there is no neurosis, otherwise a problem, then they can seek the guidance of a counselor.
Okay. So with this, there is
Yes.
another question. I think, Ms. Mahajan, you'll be able to say this better. Nowadays, children have trauma for everything. Is it true, real trauma? For everything, children have trauma. Have you noticed that? For little things, they will say there is, I think, her screen froze. I think she has net issues. In the meantime, Dr. Elizabeth, there
See
is a
the
question.
I
What to do to make my child gain height? She's 13.
Gain height. Girl or boy? That is very.
So it's a
See.
girl.
Okay. So in girls, the height gain is during adolescence and puberty. That is the final height gain for the girl. And
Mm,
it's between the telarchy, that is the breast development, to menarche. That 2 years is what you have to concentrate. If she has already attained her menarche,
uh-huh,
then it is very little scope for further height gain. But,
okay.
but boys have a long window period, that is from the onset of puberty till their facial hair growth. Maybe they get 6 or 7 years, even they may get. But the girls get 2 to 3 years only. So it depends on whether she has attained menarche or not. Otherwise, give her good protein diet, then zinc supplements, vitamin D. Have a chat with your pediatrician, and that is whether it is hereditary. If the parents are short, we have a prediction: father's height plus mother's height,
Okay.
then divided by 2,
Okay.
the middle
That's the
value.
prediction.
No,
Okay.
no, plus 6.5 for the boy, minus 6.5 for the girl.
Okay. Ma'am, could you
Suppose it
please
is
repeat? I'll write it down.
165 for the dad,
Uh,
155 for the mom. Then it
okay.
is 160 is the middle value,
Okay.
the
Divide by two.
half
Uh,
of that. Then plus 6.5 for the boy. 166.5 is the prediction for the boy.
okay.
And 153.5 is the prediction for the girl. 6.5 later. So we tell
Okay.
them your girl will be as tall as you. But
Okay.
if she is not, check
Mhm.
whether she has any thyroid problem, growth hormone problem, etc.
Okay.
And there is a delayed puberty. Some parents say, I was the smallest in the class till 10th standard. Now I am
Okay.
normal. So there is
Okay.
a delayed puberty. So if this
Okay.
child is having a delayed puberty, nothing to worry, she will gain. But if she is already attained menarche, the scope is very little. But suppose she is not as what the prediction, within the prediction, then
Yes.
consult the doctor.
Okay.
But from telarchy to menarche, once the
Got it.
breast bud comes, that is the
Uh-huh.
time the girl should be concentrated.
Okay.
Calcium, vitamin D, protein,
Yes.
zinc,
Yes.
iron, everything.
Mhm.
That is the time. That 2 years is very crucial.
2 years is very crucial. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Telarchy to menarche.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. There's a question from Meena Balasubramaniam. It says, many a times it is observed that parents behave like children. What do we do in this kind of a situation? So, Miss Mahajan, Miss Mahajan, can you hear? I think you are having some net issues. I think she
Yeah,
has.
I can hear you. Can you hear?
Oh, okay. So there is a
I
question
know I'm
in
having
the
some.
chat.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. So there is a question from Miss Meena Balasubramania, which says that many a
I,
times it is observed that parents behave like children. What do we do in this kind of a
okay.
situation? And probably the parents, cannot look after the children
Can you
well.
please repeat the question?
It is observed that parents behave like children. Many a times it is observed that the parents
Again,
themselves behave like children. They are not matured enough, probably to handle children. I think she has a lot of, she has net issues.
I
Ma'am,
think I think there
the
is,
next question is to you, Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth, ma'am.
and what I would.
yeah, continue.
You can read it, right? How to manage the stress and tensions of a child going to appear the board exam. Also, they are having many physical problems like eye pain, neck pain. Can you explain how to overcome these problems?
I think a child who is going for board exam,
Uh,
we have to be, uh, there should be a systematic learning and revision process. I think the school is helping them with that. The parent also should be helping them with that. And
mhm.
I always say, as like sound of music, we
Yes,
used to listen that I have confidence in my
confidence
lack
in
of confidence. So there, it is little bit of stress is good, but don't make it. Then your maximum effort and your potential will come with a little bit of stress. Everybody is putting stress on you. You may perform better, but if the stress is distress, don't allow it to go to distress. Give the child enough time in a systematic way to learn, and tell them they have to revise, they have to sleep.
yes,
Many children don't sleep. That is why they don't sleep prior to the exam, because they are learning everything on that previous day. And some seniors would have told them like that. You can learn the last minute and all. So
yes,
that thing. I have miles to go before I sleep. That should be written there, in the child's room, and make the child into a very good discipline. And once they have done, okay, you have done your revision, now you go to sleep. Let us pray, or let us have a singing time or storytelling time, and then go to sleep, and make them get up in the morning and prepare as if. So little bit of stress is good, because and little bit of lack of confidence means then you will do your homework. If I'm
yes,
overconfident, I may take it very light, and I
yes,
may not do my homework. I always say little bit of stress is okay for us. And I always tell my students, see, exam is your opportunity. Don't fear it. This is
exactly.
the best opportunity that we are giving you to finish this course, to show what you have learned, to consolidate. I said 20% of learning will happen on the day of the examination. You think on your own and you answer. So some learning will happen today also. And this is your best opportunity. You can consolidate. You want to go out and work, or go to your next stage. So this is the opportunity that we are giving you. So that way of
Right.
positive counseling can be done. Then
Mhm.
neck pain and eye pain and all, maybe because of the seating. They don't have a proper seating.
Yes.
They have to sit straight, and
Mhm.
parent will have to teach them, or they can get some counseling regarding that. Their
Mhm.
postures have to be adjusted.
Yes.
And if any child is bringing the book closer than their elbow, have an eye checkup like that. If they are blinking too much,
Too
or
much.
they have even the sty coming very frequently, get the
Mm-hmm.
eyes checked. That is,
Yes, ma'am.
many of the children have eye problem, and then change their glasses periodically. All those things will help. And
Yes.
headache. If the parent is having migraine, the child
Mm-hmm.
also may be having migraine. So it is better
Mm-hmm.
to consult what type of headache it is. If it is
Yes.
tension headache, some massaging and all can help. But if it is migraine, they may need a treatment.
They need, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So there are, so pediatric migraine is also there, means
Yeah, yeah.
children also get migraine. Okay.
And some even babies start incessant crying, And
Yes.
that may be because the mother is having the migraine.
Yes.
Going to get the migraine.
Some kind of physical discomfort. Yes.
So we take a good history and then.
Yes.
go
Ma'am,
ahead.
there's one small question here. You had spoken about some exercises to do. So
Yeah.
there is a question over here that what kind of small exercises do you recommend? What should they do inside the home if they cannot go out?
Excellent. I must say that there are two types of exercise, aerobic and anaerobic. The anaerobic is what the weightlifters and all, they can't talk when they do it. They can't talk. They yell and then do it. During that, after that, they will talk. During that, they can't talk. So aerobic exercises, we use oxygen. And that is the time when you can also talk. If when I am walking, if I can sing, I am doing an aerobic exercise, I am using oxygen. That is what the children also need. It should not be very rigorous that they can't even talk.
Okay.
Not like a marathon running that they are doing. They have to if, see that we can talk to each other during, if we are dancing. If you are dancing for an hour or so, maybe you can't talk. Don't go to
Right.
that level.
Yes.
uh, Put it in such a way, little bit of exercise that we learned, 1 2 3 4, like that, what we learned in school, they can do. And they can do some cinematic dancing,
Okay.
little swimming, walking,
Yes.
jogging, skipping, cycling. And cycling also, I say, see, now it is 5:30. Expect me only at 6 o'clock. Half an hour I'm going, and it should be done with all your mind and body. It should be done. So the small exercise means you can talk in between.
Right.
That means you can take air and
Yes. Right. Okay. We get it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Miss Chitra, there is this question which is probably directed towards you. Many a times it is observed that parents behave like children. What to do with that kind of in that kind of a situation? I guess the question is from Miss Meena Balasubramanian.
I would hear now they have to be first, seeing a counselor. They need some guidance before the child is guided for any further, the thing. But as parents, I would say that, parents need to first start practicing. This is what I said. We need to practice before we actually expect the child to do certain things which we feel are right or wrong, our rights and wrongs. As and again, to say one more very important thing, which I wanted to add, in fact, earlier, was that we as parents try to, feel and take children as our entities.
Okay.
We generally forget that they have an identity of their own, and the child is a separate individual.
Yes.
He or she may be an extension of me, but he's a different individual
Which
who's
we
come
tend to forget most of the time.
Absolutely. So we don't look at the child as a separate individual. We just feel that he or she is an extension of me.
Extension. Yes.
So instead of looking at him afresh from what the child may want many a times, uh, we try to force upon them what we wish to do, our own ambitions, our own aspirations, most importantly. So, but when it comes to the question which you had said, I would say that the parents definitely need some kind of a guidance before they want that they should be starting a proper parenting. They're ready for that kind of parenting.
Yes. There's a beautiful sentence from Asiri Mudgal. It's wonderful to listen to you, Dr. Elizabeth, and what wisdom. So let me thank ma'am for being here. Now, there is another question. What should we do if we feel lonely and neglected by others? I think this question will go to Ms. Mahajan. What should we do if we feel, if you can give us, tell us one or two things. We need to wind up now slowly. Uh,
maybe
What should we do if we feel lonely and neglected by others?
First of all, I think let's look at our own routine. What kind of a routine are we having, you know, and what are the kind of activities I'm trying to engage in as a person. So is it, am I leaving a scope for an activity which has other people around me? And thirdly, do I also initiate communication?
Okay.
Or is it that I'm expecting the other person or the other people to only communicate to me?
Yes.
So, 2-3 main steps, if we are able to do, probably it will help us in engaging in activities which will have a bigger group or probably the entire family and not being left out. And for something more important, what are my expectations? So if there is a conflict between the expectations and certain
reality.
things and the reality, then also somewhere we start feeling very lonely and left out by the others.
I
So
think
it's
that is exactly.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Elizabeth.
That is what exactly I was telling. Your social quotient should improve. How many
Yes,
friends can you
absolutely.
keep? And that is your charisma.
exactly.
You work
Exactly.
on it. And
Absolutely.
I think once you understand that this is my weakness, you have conquered 50% of it.
Yeah.
You understand that if I say, somebody says I'm angry, I accept it means 50% I have conquered. That this
That's a difficult thing to do.
this person feels I am lonely, I don't have friends. 50% is done. Go and make friendship. And
It's such a
bring
difficult thing to
charisma
do.
in you.
Ma'am, I think we also need to learn acceptance. When we learn acceptance, when we teach our children acceptance, and these are the points I think both of you have said, that we have to teach our children to learn acceptance. Whatever kind of failure, moment we teach our children to learn acceptance, these kind of traumas, these kind of problems do not crop up. Yeah.
Half the things, ma'am, they are, I think, answered when we are a self-aware person. So when I say that, do I really know what I expect?
Yes.
Is only through self-awareness. That, okay, this is something probably I'm not doing. Maybe that's the reason the other person is letting me be. So is it loneliness or is it something that I have selected for myself? Then another thing, which is, how well am I able to express my own emotions to the others? So it's not always understanding, but also to be able to express your own emotions to the others, which is something we largely overlook. We only probably understand things between sadness and happiness. So there are emotions which are other than that also.
There is another question. Somehow reading these two questions, I have a feeling these questions are coming from children and not from parents. What should we do if we feel there is partiality between us and our siblings? And when we share it with our parents, they scold and beat for thinking so. I think that they want to say that if there is partiality, maybe the parents beat up one child and not the other child. I think that is what probably the child is trying to say. So, Dr. Elizabeth, do you want to say anything to this? I mean, could you understand the question? What I could
Yeah,
understand?
small children, lot of children, the parents tell us about this sibling rivalry and things like that. So,
Exactly.
this situation, I think we'll have to further think of,
Analyze, yes.
analyze. But for a smaller child, we say, make the elder child responsible. See, responsible. You are the brother. You are the brother. You are the sister, and make them involved in taking care of the child or in looking after the child. So they have a role. Otherwise, they don't have any role.
It's like
Finally,
co-parenting.
they were the center of attraction. Now somebody else has come and everybody is behind them. They don't have any role. So give them the role.
Right.
The
Yes.
role that you are the brother. You have to do it. You
Exactly. Ma'am, this is what I had seen abroad, that they call it co-parenting. So when the child is born, when the father comes, along with the first the child, they will place the child on the lap of the elder sibling first, and they say this is co-parenting. And if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, that is
successful
what.
in that first bond making, then sibling rivalry normally does not crop
That
up.
is what.
So I think when it comes to co-parenting, we Indians are not great at it, but I think we need to learn these things also.
We are little behind in that. Exactly.
Thank you so much to both of you. It's been a wonderful session, and I what I enjoyed most that the points which both of you were saying from your perspective was more or less the same. So I am sure those who are watching and will watch, because we are going to post this on our website as well as on an FB page, and I'm sure they can watch later on. So I just want to thank all of you for being with us, especially Dr. Elizabeth and Ms. Mahajan. And Maharajan, I think I've been going wrong with the surname for quite a while. And to the wonderful audience and my team who is assisting us. And not last, but definitely not the least, the school management, because they are always such a positive support whenever we want to do something in the school. And maybe we will speak to you again in future. We would want you to come and help us, assist us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Mahajan and Ms. Maharajan and Dr. Elizabeth. Now, we would like to inform our audience to save the date on 6th February 2021. We have a webinar, Understanding NEP 2020, where I will be the resource person. It is not really a webinar. It's more of a workshop, because NEP 2020 is on us, and there are many ways we are educating the parents as well as the teachers. And we want to talk to the teachers as well as the parents can also join in, and we will be discussing on NEP 2020 and how to go forward, what are the things that our school DPS Kollam already has, we have implemented, and what are the other things that we need to implement. And in general, it will be a sort of a curtain raiser about NEP 2020 for all of us. So thank you so much for being with us, and it's been a very, very enjoyable evening. Thank you and good night to all of you.